multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zola. No applause? You're all fired.
Now that you've reached the stage in your life where quality television is important, Nubian TV is a black network that speaks to your lifestyle. Nubian TV is the world's first digital network devoted to the upscale and political lifestyles of black people. Nubian TV's programming includes politics, travel, fashion, food, automotive, arts and culture, civil rights, music, and more. Watch now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, or watch globally at NubianTV.net. Nubian TV, it's what you want to watch. Now that you've reached the
Come with me if you want to live a more delicious life.
Oh, maybe we should get in the van.
In this world, we don't get to control much. The past, male pattern baldness.
Leggies.
Got one right now. The urge to puff that bubble wrap. But there is one thing we do get to choose every single day: what we eat. Welcome to the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment. We have everything you want, didn't know you wanted, and some things you didn't know were possible. Because we believe if you're not having fun, you're not living free. So come on, let's live a little.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money! Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good. Very good.
Coming in hot. Jimmy coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh, good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be here.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in. That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, where? Ginger. Hey, good morning, America.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort. Prepare for a journey beyond.
Well, hello to you, and you. I am so sorry for the beginning of the show, child. Y'all know how StreamYard is sometimes, okay? But listen, I got something really cool for y'all tonight. Now, you gotta roll with me on this one, okay? As you all know, e-gaming is huge, and one of the biggest things that's happening in the world of social media is the battle of TikTok. And as you all know, there was another extension yet again for TikTok. Now, at first I thought that Disney would buy TikTok, which would make the most sense because they can incorporate into Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN. However, wait till you see the research I have of why Nintendo could buy TikTok. And believe me, by the time it's over, you're going to be like, okay, Bray, you did your good-ish on this one. So with that being said, higher is waiting, low is available. But either way, you are live on tour. Let me take down this account again intro here. And by the way, happy Juneteenth to everybody. I hope that your barbecues went well. Yes, indeed. A shout out to Jasmine Crockett. I was watching some videos of her doing what she does best, saying the quiet part out loud from one person who does it all the time to another. Well done, my sister. You can call her Jasmine Crockett Lee if you want to. Jasmine Lee. Miss Lee if you're nasty. With that being said, welcome in, everybody. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is me. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Let's get to the gig, do what we do, because, y'all, this is a big one. Okay, this is a very big one. Let me also get my man Evan Shapiro here, because we're going to go to the map as well. Okay, so we're going to pull that up here in just a little bit. So with that being said, let me get back to you guys. And let me share my screen. Let's get to going because we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. So I'm going to do it like this. Do this first. So Disney executives, right, consider adding user-generated content to Disney Plus, right? This comes to us from what's on DisneyPlus.com. Disney executives considering adding user-generated content to Disney Plus as audiences viewing habits continue to evolve. New trends begin to take hold. While the streaming wars have been primarily focused on Netflix's growth and the death of cable, YouTube has been quietly making massive movies available on people's TVs. Many people think of YouTube as something that you might watch on your phone, but more and more people, including myself, watch a lot of YouTube on their main televisions. Throw in the success of YouTube TV, which is the largest cable-like television provider in the United States, and now the platform that is known best for hosting user-generated content now has almost 10% of all television viewing in the United States. This is causing much dismay among executives at studios like Disney, with different strategies coming into play. Some are ignoring the situation, while Disney is trying to engage younger audiences by making many of its shows from Disney Junior and the Disney Channel available on YouTube. Generally, Disney still treats YouTube as a promotional platform with trailers, clips, featurettes, and interviews. But it has tried making more expensive shows specifically for YouTube, like Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge, and for a while there was a number of exclusive Disney Plus themed shows released weekly on YouTube. However, due to cost, these have all been canceled. Sorry, y'all. There we go. But that's not all. According to CNBC, Disney executives regularly discuss YouTube every day in strategic meetings and have considered adding user-generated content to Disney Plus, though it's not on the immediate roadmap, according to people familiar with the matter, who asked not to be named because the discussions are private. The idea of adding user-generated content to Disney Plus would be a difficult situation for the streaming service. While it would allow a huge amount of content to be available within the app, generate more views and engagement and advertising money, there are a lot of risks. Disney, unlike YouTube, is very reliant on its brand name and recognition, so having content that wasn't handpicked by the studio for the streaming service would put that at risk if something appropriate was added. content to be rated, which would fit in with the parental control system. Allowing anyone to upload to Disney Plus would likely be a nightmare to control, as people could upload movies and shows from the studios or add inappropriate content. Some other considerations must be taken into account, as user-generated content will drastically outweigh the high-quality content available on the platform. But there are some advantages to opening up Disney Plus to user-generated content, as Disney could still cherry-pick the best of anything to submit, giving a more curated lineup of content. Mr. Beast could be a perfect example of user-generated content of a high enough quality to entertain audiences on Disney Plus. Currently, there's a number of high-quality shows aimed at children, which originally debuted on YouTube, including Blippi, Kids, Diana's Show, and Morphile, before larger companies picked them up and started distributing them on their platforms. Many of these shows are regularly trending on Disney Plus in the United States, highlighting why Disney might be interested in exploring this future. Disney's ESPN has also had success in bringing the Pat McAfee show from YouTube onto the sports network, highlighting it can be done, though that has had some bad publicity on occasions. Amazon Prime Video offers a program that allows users to submit videos for the platform, though it does curate what's available to maintain high standards. Apparently, Disney executives are very aware of YouTube's rising dominance, especially for young people. There is also a lot of other content on YouTube that can be suitable for the platform, as many creators make content about Disney parks, rides, and merchandise, movies, and TV shows. It's being considered that integrating some of that content as shoulder programming to Disney's scripted series and movies could help keep users on Disney Plus. However, as a Disney-themed content creator myself, one thing I am very much aware of is how Disney isn't going to want videos of vloggers at Walt Disney World bashing the wait times of the newest ride, or having TV reviewers talk about how bad the latest Disney Plus series is, right? So there is what it would look like with what's on Disney Plus inside the Disney Plus. You know what? Hang on one second. I'm going to do this live. Excuse me for 1 minute, please. One momento. Because I'm kind of curious about this myself. Give me one moment. Because, child, that would be, man, give me a moment. Because I actually want to see this. I actually truly want to see this. So give me a moment. Uploads. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Y'all know how technology works here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So we got that. Let's expand that. Shrink it down. Oh, hang on. Y'all give me one moment, because I actually do want to see something here. Now, of course, I'm just, oh, this is about to be so good. It's about to be so SOGOOD good. Just wait 1 minute. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is legitimately crazy. And believe me, all this will relate to why Nintendo could buy TikTok. I promise you, or could acquire TikTok. By in turn acquire TikTok. Okay, so let's do this here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to show y'all here, I'm just going to let you know right now, it is not real, okay? I'm just going to let you know that right damn now, that what I'm going to show y'all is not real, okay? So this is not AI. This is just some imagination. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of imagination. Duplicate that again. Duplicate that again. Almost there. And one more time. All right. I think we'll be good here. Okay. Download this now. Now this looks like it's on Disney Plus, but it's not. Okay. So we're just going to download this here. Okay. It's officially downloaded. Give me a moment. Okay. I'm about to add the overlay. It uploads here. Let's take a look. That's what it would look like if Braylon's virtual tour was on Disney Plus. Okay, so let me do this here because you're not able to see the Disney Plus logo. So give me a moment here. Facebook. And send it to my messenger. Hopefully you guys' Juneteenth, like I said, is going well. Yes, indeed. This was the day that slaves from Texas were the last state to know that they were free. And what a day that was in history for damn sure. Praise be unto God for that. All right, here we go. Open that. Let me take this down. Hi, everybody. Wait. There we go. Hi, everybody. So this is what it would look like if Braylon's virtual tour was on Disney Plus, right? So imagine, if you will, right, your favorite content creators had their shows inside Disney Plus, okay? So that's basically what Disney is debating on, right? If they, want to add user-generated content to Disney Plus. Roger's take, I think the idea of user-generated content being added to Disney Plus sounds like a public relations disaster waiting to happen. However, that shouldn't stop Disney from reaching out and licensing more content from alternative sources to provide more options to subscribers. Disney needs to make sure it stands out as the home of high-quality entertainment. Going down the route of using user-generated content feels like some executives are just looking at the cost of making shows like Grey's Anatomy or WandaVision, and then looking at a popular YouTube video of someone opening a box or doing a makeup tutorial and thinking, let's do that because it's cheaper. Copying YouTube isn't going to work, but I don't think there's any harm in pulling out some of the golden nuggets to keep subscribers entertained. So I fully agree. I fully agree with make sure I get this guys right. So Roger, I fully agree with Roger from what's on Disney Plus, right? So to that end, right, there was an app from Epic Games. You guys may or may not remember it, but it was called House Party. And I am doing this because apparently you got to enter in your date of birth. So this was the app right here. This was called House Party right here. So let me pause it. And this right here is the foundation of my argument. So here we go. So that app came from Epic Games. As you saw, you could play Uno there, but the biggest thing was you could play Fortnite. Right now, this app is no longer around, unfortunately, but it says here, House Party is the face-to-face social network where you can connect with the people you care about most. The app makes connecting face-to-face effortless, alluring you when your friends are in the house and ready to chat, so you can jump right into the conversation. Same goes for you opening up the app. Your friends will know you're in the app and ready to chat, so they can join you, because rejected calls are so last year. House party is truly the next best thing to hanging out in person. See your friends more often on house parties. So as you can see here, as we zoom in, you see people online here, people who are around, right? And then you see Fortnite. So you can literally join in, right, in real time. So we pause that there. As you can see, there's the camera on and off. There is the shared screen. There's the different games. One of them was Uno, as you saw. I think that is screen brightness, of course, your microphone. Whether you want to be horizontal or vertical, right, or horizontal, right, this way. And then, of course, like I said, Fortnite. So, and this is what it looks like with video call. So very, very clear video and audio. Now you could do this up to 10. You could have done this up to 10 people. So right here, you could have your friends inside house party playing Fortnite, right? So a little bit more on house party right here. In early 2015, Life on Air, a team headed by founder and CEO Ben Rubin, released the live streaming app Meerkat and raised $12 million venture capital funding from Braylon partners. Following the release, the creators began developing a new app called House Party that moved away from public broadcasts and favored private chats. House Party was released to the App Store and Play Store in February 2016 under a pseudonym. It was developed over 10 months with a website redirecting to the House Party app in October 2016. The company raised $52 million venture capital from Sequoia Capital in late 2016. It was made available on Mac iOS in 2018. Co-founder Sisani was announced as the company's chief executive officer or CEO in March 2019 and led the acquisition of House Party by Epic Games later that year. Life on Air became a subsidiary of Epic Games, and the monetary terms of the acquisition were not disclosed. Sisani noted that House Party was being used by Fortnite players, so the partnership made a lot of sense. So, right here, it was 8 people, but then they turned it up to 10, right? So users receive a notification when friends are online and available to group chat or flow between chat rooms. That's another thing. You can go from chat room to chat room. During early 2019, the company partnered with Ellen DeGeneres' app Heads Up, which is similar to Charades. In the summer 2020, House Party partnered up with Mattel to add Magic 8 Ball and the card game Uno to the app. The app contains other popular games such as Quick Draw, Chips and Guac, and trivia games that can be played with friends in a video chat. It has been called the virtual living room of apps by the New Yorker, right? So there it is there. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, Bray, so user-generated content onto Disney Plus. You have House Party from Epic Games. How is this relating to Nintendo? I got you. So right here, Nintendo wants to be much more than a video game company. For decades, Nintendo was synonymous with video games. Now, in the second century, the Japanese company wants to be much more. In the first half of the year, Nintendo released a mega hit Hollywood film, which, by the way, Grace from Beyond the Trailer said it would flop, and she was showed out to be a fucking liar, starring its marquee character Mario and open Super Nintendo World, a themed area at Universal Studios Hollywood. And now Super Nintendo World's opened up at Universal's Epic Universe in Orlando, Florida, with the extension of Donkey Kong Country. On September 1st, the company hosted its first U.S. live event called Nintendo Live for families and fans in Seattle. This is all on top of selling more than 18 million copies of a new Zelda game, Zelda Breath of the Wild. We're actually evolving from we're actually evolving into being an entertainment company with gaming as the nucleus of the overall business model, says Doug Bowser, president of Nintendo America, who oversees the Kyoto-based company's efforts in the United States. Nintendo Live events started in 2018 in Japan, feature concerts and esports competitions. I want you to keep esports competitions right here, okay? Because in just a little bit, we're going to be talking about that in a huge fashion here. Bowser said the company used those events to test and learn what kinds of activities would engage people of all ages, particularly families, where Japan hosted concerts with holographic characters from its Splatoon and Animal Crossing series. For example, the Seattle event offered live performances of big band or orchestral arrangements of Mario's open music. There's certain games that may be a bit more popular based on various consumer preferences, Bowser said. Here we just felt there would be a stronger affinity to all things Mario. Obviously, The Legend of Zelda, since we launched Tears of the Kingdom and then Breath of the Wild after, and then we chose Seattle because it's our backyard. The event, a part of Nintendo's strategy to fuel its intellectual property across multiple formats, is scheduled alongside the popular PAX West game convention in Seattle to draw a international crowd. It's unclear whether Nintendo will take the event series on the road. So as you can see there, you can meet Animal Crossing characters live in person at Nintendo Live. The company's gaming nucleus for the moment is the Switch console, a hybrid home and mobile gaming platform that has sold more than 129 million units since its 2017 release. The Switch is now the third most successful game console of all time, behind Nintendo's DS and Sony's PlayStation 2. Now the Nintendo Switch 2 is now the most successful gaming console of all time. In a 2021 interview with the Washington Post, Bowser said the Switch was redefined what console lifecycle can look like. The platform holds a unique place in the games console market compared with PlayStation 5 or Xbox. The Switch uses very old mobile technology outdated by smartphones released a half a decade ago. Now, I do want to say this, right? Because a lot of people did not like the Wii U, okay? One of the things that the Wii U did that is a part of the Switch, if you realize it or not, was, let's just say that you were in the living room playing the game on the big TV. That game would transition to your Wii U gamepad. The Switch, you can either put on TV or you can take it on the go. Not to mention too, although the Nintendo Switch didn't have it at the time, but the Nintendo Switch 2 does have it as an accessory, was a camera, right? So the Nintendo Wii U gamepad rather had a camera on the front of it. So the Switch, the birth of the Switch rather, came from the Nintendo Wii U gaming console. So I just wanted to add that to the timeline, okay? And people still bought it and still played it, and they still love it to this day, okay? So too much hate on the Nintendo Wii U unnecessarily. Bowser attributes the console's long tail sales to a carefully curated and planned release schedule of first-party published titles. Tears of the Kingdom is the second best-selling game of the year so far. Pikmin 4, the latest game by Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto, launched this summer. Super Mario Bros. Wonder and a remake of Super Mario RPG will close out the year. In contrast to market leader PlayStation 5, with Marvel's Spider-Man 2 as the single first-party title in its schedule. A big part of this is how you continue to not only bring new players in, but how you keep existing players engaged by having content in a steady drumbeat that makes the difference. Bowser said the company's fans are starving for a new console with update technology, so much so that the phrases Switch 2 and Switch Pro constantly trend on social media sites, fueled on nothing but pure speculation. But this week alone, Nintendo announced still more versions of the 2017 console, 2 versions of the Lite Edition with Animal Crossing branding, as well as a return of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle. Nintendo just announced a special Mario edition of its OLED model, coming only months after the release of a special Zelda edition. The Switch release strategy is a part of Nintendo's goal of staying as a multi-generational media company. Bowser said the Animal Crossing bundle, for example, includes the franchise's 2020 New Horizons game, which sold more than 42 million copies. 42 million copies. 42 million copies across various age and gender demographics. It's for the family, quite honestly, that's looking to get one more Switch if the kids are fighting over the existing Switch. Bowser said every year there are millions of households that have kids turning 6, 7, or 8, which is typically when people introduce their children to video games, rather. And we think we're a very logical and obvious choice for those families. Film has become another pillar for Nintendo after the success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie with its $1.36 billion global revenue, surpassed only recently by Barbie. Hollywood's first attempt at Mario movie in 1993 bombed at the box office, which in turn led to Nintendo closely guarding its intellectual property for years. But the company has been loosening its tie, forming official partnerships with Lego with tie-in toys, as well as the Universal Studios theme parks and Illumination, which is owned by NBC Universal. We found there were a lot of parents and grandparents that took their kids to the movie. Bowser said, I met a grandmother the other day who took her grandchild four times, and she can now talk to me all about Mario and the various characters of the game. That experience goes back to the point of creating multiple touch points and building that affinity over time. So there is Doug Bowser there in the middle of New York City there. Yes, indeed, with a Nintendo Switch brand activation behind them there. Nintendo's strategy is unusual, though, that there were arguments in federal court this year about whether the company competes with Xbox and PlayStation. In July, a federal judge rejected a lawsuit by the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, against Microsoft over its $69 billion acquisition of gaming publishing giant Activision Blizzard. As a part of its argument, the FTC did not include Nintendo in its definition of market competitors, an observation that confused the industry. When asked about the hearings, Bowser laughed and said he'll avoid passing judgment on any remarks from court proceedings. He doesn't want to single out any company as a competitor. If there's any competition, it's asking ourselves, how do we compete for people's time, Bowser said. We all have limited time. How do we create devices or platforms that are differentiated and unique, and people want to play or create devices or platforms that are differentiated and unique that people want to engage in? Because in the end, that's what's important to us, keeping people engaged, bringing them into our platforms or just our intellectual property through various means like the movie or the theme park. Nintendo remains secretive about its next big platform moves, and Bowser has become an expert at dodging questions about a Switch successor console. The Post asked what people can expect in 2024. Bowser laughed and only said you can continue to look forward to that great beat of content to keep people engaged. So, with that being said, I want to bring you to Wikipedia, right? So this is the Nintendo Wikipedia, right, of everything Nintendo, of the Nintendo Wii. So this is the list of Wii channels. So the Wii channels are features and applications of Wii stored in a channel slot on the Wii menu that features an animated icon. Selecting a channel icon with the Wii Remote's A button then allows the user to open it by clicking the Start button. The Wii U channel menu features 48 channel slots spanning 4 screens. With each screen having 12 channel slots. Therefore, a single Wii can have a total of 48 channels, with the exception of the disc channel. All Wii channels on Wii systems with Wii menu firmware 2.0 and beyond can be moved by grabbing a channel icon by pressing the A and B buttons together simultaneously. Move the icon over to an open channel slot and release the buttons. By updating the Wii console's firmware, connecting one's Wii to the internet, and downloading additional channels /software updates, one can gain access to new channels and features, all of which are selectable from the Wii channel menu. Now, I know what you're thinking, Brad. We're not really seeing how the Wii is going to relate to Tic Tok and Nintendo. I got you. I don't just do anything by accident, right? So let's go over all the channels. You see all those channels there. So the disc channel allows users to play Wii disc-based tiles and Nintendo GameCube software that's inserted to the Wii console's front-loading disc drive. The disc channel is the only channel that can be moved without hacking, right? So I have my Nintendo Wii over here. Actually, give me 1 second. Hang on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Be right back. Hang on. Hello, everybody. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. All right. So I got my Wii here. So this is my Wii remote, right? So you got the 1-2 buttons right here. Let me do it big style. So you got the 1-2 buttons right here, right? Hang on, let me see something real quick. Okay, there we go. We're good. Okay, so I got the 1-2 buttons right here. And of course, you got home in the middle, plus minus button, the A button, and your gamepad, right? And then the B button and the power button, right? So you would take the Wii remote, right? You would take the Wii remote and you would, scroll and then choose A and all that stuff, right? So this Wii remote. So let me get back on right there. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. So with that being said, just follow me here. The Me channel right here, it's an avatar creation channel, which allows the user to create characters that can be used in various video games for the Wii. Me's have become the most iconic characters of the Wii generation, appearing in the Wii series of games, among many others, both first part and third part. So like, for example, Wii Sports Resort, Wii Party, right? And also too, there were other games that you could also utilize your Me as well. So you got the photo channel, which basically you can view your photos there. The Wii Shop channel, as you can see there, you have WiiWare, which is exclusive games that you can only buy on the Wii. You have your Wii channel, so you got your virtual console, right? So then you have the weather channel, which allows you to view the current and upcoming weather in your area, as well as around the world for an interactive 3D globe. After clicking the channel's icon, the user can see current temperature and conditions of his or her area, as well as the last time this information was updated. So there you go there. Okay. Then you have the news channel, which is updated with new news articles. Users may browse the news by category, by territory, or on an interactive 3D globe, or via slasher, which quickly buzzes through news headlines. So you can literally do that there. And then here are some supplemental channels, right? So virtual console channels are channels that allow players to play their downloaded virtual console games obtained from the Wii Shop channel, right? So each game downloaded has its own channel slot with the Wii menu icons that makes you alternate between the game's title screen and the logo of the video game console it originated from. So let's just say Super Mario 64 and under it be Nintendo 64. The internet channel, right? You can basically surf the internet using the Wii remote and a USB keyboard. The channel was developed by Opera, which Opera is one of the biggest browsers in the world. A lot of gamers use that browser, and Nintendo. It supported Flash, Java, HX, and more, and you could save up to 56 favorites. In addition, messages or memos on a user's Wii message board that contain links to web pages can be opened with the internet channel by clicking the link containing the message, which will be colored blue typed correctly. The Everybody Votes channel. Now, this was my dad's favorite channel. I will never forget this, right? So basically, the Everyone Votes channel, which was for free, utilizes the Me caricatures created in the Me channel to allow viewers to shop in and predict the results of several two response national worldwide polls, right? So register and view vote history for up to 6 Me's, view polls by gender and territory, and suggest poll question responses that may or may not be used by Nintendo in the future, right? So there you go there. The Checkout Me channel, you were able to enter your Me, create on the Me channel into contests, and then share your Me with the rest of the world. 1.1, Photo Channel 1.1 was updated to the Photo Channel. Downloading it grants Wii users the ability to customize the Photo Channel icon for personal picture, and replaces the channel's MP3 compatibility with AAC compatibility. The Nintendo channel allowed you to stream upcoming currently available Wii and Nintendo DS titles. Now, this would have been the Nintendo Direct channel, okay, if they would have kept up with it. A free word channel that allowed the user to run their Wii to homebrew apps and other programs. Now, I don't know about the homebrew channel. I never really saw this on the Wii, but we will see what it is here. So this was the homebrew channel. I never really knew about this channel, but let's look it up and see what it's all about. I just simply never knew. Let's see here. So it looks like this was a okay, so it looked like this was just an extension channel where you can like do Wii Earth and Wii Whiteboard. You can write on a whiteboard. So it looked like this was an extension channel where you could play like 3D pinball. So okay, I can see that. Kind of like a third-party app store. Okay, I see that for sure. Learn something new every day, ladies and gentlemen. And WiiWare channels. WiiWare channels allow users to use their WiiWare games attained by the Wii Shop channel. Now, acquired on-demand channels. Now, I want you to watch this. Now, this was discontinued as of January 30th, 2019, but you can watch Netflix on the Wii. You can watch YouTube on the Wii. You can watch Hulu Plus on the Wii, and you can watch Amazon Instant Video on the Wii. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind, because like I said, where we're going here is it's going to be good. So right here, the Nintendo Switch 2 does have a browser, but it's not directly accessible through a traditional browser app. Instead, it can be accessed by modifying the console's DNSSEG to connect to a specific server that redirects to a web portal. This method allows users to browse the internet, stream content, even access Google search. Okay, so this is what it looks like here. So that's what it looks like there. So you can literally surf the web on your Nintendo Switch 2. Okay. Now, of course, for those of you who do not know, in case you live under a rock, there's this thing called Super Nintendo World at Universal Orlando Resort at Epic Universe. So here it is here. So you go through the portal and you are literally in the middle of the Mushroom Kingdom. And then of course there's Donkey Kong Country right over there, right? So you got Super Mario Land, Team Bowser, or Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, journey through colorful landscapes on Yoshi's Adventure, and more. You got Donkey Kong Country, discover the action and fun as you help Donkey Kong dig, protect the Golden Banana, and Minecraft Madness, more. And then of course you have all these rides. So Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, ride through iconic courses, throw shells, and collect digital coins, beat Team Bowser. You never experienced Mario Kart like this. Minecraft Madness, careening through the jungle, help Donkey Kong protect the Golden Banana on the thrilling family coaster Minecraft Madness. Yoshi's Adventure, join Yoshi's and search for the glowing eggs as you travel the Mushroom Kingdom landscapes in this enchanting family ride. And then, of course, you can meet Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad. You can meet Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong Country. Now, they did have a meet and greet with Yoshi at Universal Studios Hollywood for Universal Fan Fest nights. I am sure Yoshi will be coming over to Universal's Epic Universe. And then, of course, you have the Toadstool Cafe in Super Mario Land. You have the Bubbly Barrel inside Donkey Kong Country. You have Yoshi Snack Island, and you also have Turbo Boost treats there, right? Then, of course, you have apparel, right? Yeah, I know. The merch is crazy. The power-up bands, because there's actual blocks that you can hit. And then, of course, that's a popcorn bucket. Seriously, that's a popcorn bucket. These are drinks here. And then that is a popcorn bucket as well. So, I know what you're thinking. Okay, Bray, I'm beginning to see your point, good sir. I'm beginning to see your point about how potentially Nintendo could acquire TikTok. But let's look at this a little bit further.
Universal Epic Universe will be the 4th theme park at Universal Orlando Resort and will transport you to 5 immersive worlds filled with thrills and excitement. In Super Nintendo World, you'll jump into the action and discover a new way to play.
When we started planning Epic Universe, we really wanted to create iconic worlds that deeply connect with fans.
I'm a lifelong fan of Nintendo and grown up with these characters. I still remember opening up my NES system in 85 or 86.
It doesn't matter how old you are. Everyone knows the Nintendo brand. We all have our favorite games. We all have our favorite characters. We're the fans. And so our primary goal was to make sure, not just for us, but for the guests, this was the ultimate Nintendo experience.
You'll enter Super Nintendo World through the iconic green pipe. And once inside, you'll discover the most elaborate, interactive world we've ever created, featuring Super Mario Land and Donkey Kong Country.
When you come out on the second level of Super Nintendo World with that vista, there's just not another view like it.
You have Mount Beanpole right in front of you. You have all these colorful blocks, all the characters moving around. This world is alive around you.
This world invites you to just come in and play.
It's just about fun, man. It's all about fun.
One of the features of Super Nintendo World is the power-up band.
It allows you to play the games. It allows you to keep score.
You can collect coins by punching blocks. You can find hidden elements throughout the land.
You can see how you're doing compared to other guests in the park.
There's so many places to look and to be engaged. You just get engulfed in it. And then you're like, okay, so what's the first thing you want to do?
If we were going to do anything with Nintendo, there were a handful of things that we had to touch on, and Mario Kart was one of them. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge is Bowser challenging Mario in a winner-take-all race, and you, as the guest, get to join them on this race through courses all selected from the Mario Kart gaming world.
This ride is extremely innovative.
We use augmented reality technology to bring this race to life in such a fun, visceral way.
You can look at the characters, they look at you, you can throw shells at characters and change the outcome of the race.
You can see all the beautiful scenery, and you also get the gameplay that's going on the image. It melds that game world into that real world.
Everything in this world is designed to fully immerse you. The sights, the sounds, the food, the attractions.
I love Yoshi. We couldn't do anything without bringing him along.
Yoshi's Adventure is a family ride, which is just too cute for words.
We're joining Yoshi in exploring Mount Beanpole in the search for 3 glowing eggs. It's a fun, colorful, interactive ride the whole family will love.
You'll see incredible views of the world that you're not going to see anywhere else.
Yoshi and Mario Kart, they're so iconic.
Now, I want to pause this for a bit because right here, if I can zoom in, yep. So right here, you see these two, telescopes right here, kind of. You can look through those, right? And it is basically augmented reality, and you can see Koopas and everything else from this perch right here. So I just wanted to throw that in, that little Easter egg, in case you did not know. Let's roll on. Go play.
Donkey Kong is one of the original icons, and we certainly couldn't do a Super Nintendo World without including him.
Donkey Kong Country is a completely different landscape from Super Mario Land.
You're exploring through very lush jungle with rhythm and music.
But the land really comes to life. When you see the mine carts coming through the land, it really looks like it's a runaway mine cart.
Minecart Madness gives guests an opportunity to join Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. It's a coaster that has jumps, turns, leaps, dips, dives.
It's got the most innovative technology inside of it to make us feel like we're actually jumping the track.
There are 0 screens. It is all real show. It is all real thrill.
It will blow their minds on what we were able to turn into a real life experience.
When I see Super Nintendo World, what I see is the future of immersive experiences, where it's the gaming world and the real world being able to finally join together all around you.
I think this place is going to allow so many families to connect and bond over these timeless video games.
To me, I think that's why theme parks matter.
You could go there 20 times and you will always find something new every single time.
You got to come here and you have to see this place.
Super Nintendo World is going to bring so much joy to our guests, and is one of the reasons why Universal Epic Universe will be an amazing theme park experience.
Now, if you remember, when I was live on tour with all of you, there was a bit of a event happening called NBC Universal Academy. Now, this was the Game Changers Reimagining Sports Media Summit, right? So I asked a particular question. So let me show you this here. So here was the question. What do you all think? Hang on, let me zoom in here right there. What do you all think about e-gaming coming to more mainstream television with Super Nintendo World opening up at Epic Universe? I would think primetime Nintendo e-gaming tournaments live on Peacock, live on NBC and streaming on Peacock makes sense, and I would love to connect and make this happen. So that was my question. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Variety of viewpoints together so that, you know, we're not having to do a big independent outside study to figure out what those desires will be.
Customer's never wrong, right? Unless they say we hate their team, then they're wrong.
You know, they're rarely wrong, but, you know, if you read X comments, you might see that sometimes they're wrong.
Maybe you disagree a little bit. We do love audience participation. We certainly are encouraging that as much as possible. So let's take a question from our virtual audience from the Q&A box. Braylon asked, with Super Nintendo World opening at Universal Epic Universe, would primetime Nintendo e-gaming tournaments ever come to NBC Sports or Telemundo? Very interesting question. I guess, Joaquin, we could start with you. They finished with Telemundo. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Good. We're going snake around like
yeah, we can snake around. I like it. You got first pick.
Yeah, that's, I mean, definitely something that we could explore. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just such an interesting, because it's not a traditional sport in theory of you get out and you see someone on a basketball court or even to the point of a Kentucky Derby, but it is something that gains a lot of popularity. And at the end of the day, I'd imagine if it draws eyeballs, it's still going to pay dollars and cents.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of esports, different platforms, like Ron was mentioning, YouTube, Twitch, even taking them to non-traditional platforms like broadcast or cable. So yeah, always exploring.
Simi, do you have any thoughts on something like that?
Yeah, no, same. Whether it's e-gaming, you know, we've looked at, you know, pickleball, drone racing. There's a lot of sort of, you know, different new and emerging sports, and we really take each on like a case-by-case basis. And, you know, who's the audience? How does that compare to our existing audience? You know, sometimes it's good to have some overlap. Sometimes it's good to have a totally new audience, and we really look at that. And also, you know, what's the right platform? Is this something that we should put on TV? Is this something we should put on streaming? Or if we should partner with for a different platform. But we look at things opportunistically, and especially things like gaming that are really, you know, sort of, you know, really at the forefront right now of consumption. It's definitely something they look at a lot.
Alexa, I'm curious your perspective, because as someone who does something like a dog show, it's not your typical sporting event, but you clearly have an audience that you're trying to hit. It's exactly what Ron was talking about, considering the customer. So if you were to produce something like esports, how niche are you making it, and how much are you then trying to distribute and grow the audience simultaneously?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the Derby, you want to strike the right balance, right? You want to make the diehards feel seen. You want to make the casuals like learn something. I mean, my approach to any broadcast is always, you know, make me smarter, you know, make me smile and make it stick. So if I can find the right balance of that through storytelling, I think it doesn't really matter what the content is.
I like that. Let's go to another audience question right here at CNBC. State your name and your school and fire away.
Hi, my name is Nicole Passero. I'm from Montclair State University. I wanted to ask, what is one thing about the industry that you all didn't know before you got started?
Oh, that's always an excellent question. Ron, we're going to start with you.
I didn't know that content could be consumed, created, and edited from an iPhone because the iPhone didn't exist when I started in the industry. So that's one thing I would say. And then I'll just use that to say I'm continually amazed and thrilled with how we are constantly evolving and pushing. And you mentioned Epic Universe and the recent question, and that's just a great example of the creativity of our company. I got a chance to see it about a few weeks ago, and a very proud moment to be a part of this company. It's awesome. But I think the creativity, and there really is a spirit in this industry that if someone can think it, it can happen.
We do have an Epic Universe piece coming up later in the show, so that's always exciting. I like synergy. That usually is fun when it works out. Samita, what about you? What do you think?
So I wanted to bring this clip up, right? Because I asked this question because of the links, right? Okay. So you saw their answers. I appreciate them answering the question, but it was a bit blasé for me. And I will tell you why. Illumination, which is owned by NBC Universal, produced the Super Nintendo, the Super Mario Brothers movie. That's one, right? Then you have the partnership with Universal Parks to create Super Nintendo World. The first one was in Japan. The second one was in Hollywood. The third one was in Orlando, or it is in Orlando. And then, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, family and friends, lovers and supporters through the nation, around the world, at 30 Rock, right? Rockefeller Center. There is Studio 1A, right? Actually, hang on, let me pull this up. Rocker, because sometimes you have to see it in order to understand it. Rockefeller Plaza. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up on the street view because I want you to see something, because I'm just a little flabbergasted. Because when y'all see this, y'all like, wait a minute, what? Like, Ray, are you serious? Like, yes, I'm serious. So let me see if I can we do. I want to do street view. That's why I want street view. Okay, so here is, I'm trying to make sure that I get this right here. There we go. That's why I need Rockefeller Plaza. Yep, I need that. Okay, so let me show y'all this here. Okay, so this is a very, very famous street, right? A very famous street. Now, come on, work with me now. It gets me here. So we're gonna go down the street. Just gonna keep going, keep going, keep going here. At least I think I'm going down the right street. Okay, so this is 148th Street right here, right? So this is where we are right here, okay? So let me see here. I'm trying to see. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I gotta go down a little bit more. Sorry, y'all. Okay, here we go. 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 This is what I was looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what that place is right there? That, my friends, is Studio 1A right here. I think that's it. Where the hell? Wait a minute, I think we're almost there. Yep, right here. Okay, so here it is here. This is the home of the Today Show. Ladies and gentlemen, right here is the home of the Today Show. That's Studio 1A, Rockefeller Plaza. And ladies and gentlemen, right over here, keep going. I think this is it. Let me see. FAO Schwartz. Make sure that I'm not. Whoop, wait a minute. This is all live, y'all, so please forgive me. There is a point to this, okay? Okay, so that's FAO Schwartz. Okay, I'm just going to type it in. Okay. Now let's see if we can get Street View here. There we go. Okay. As it loads up for us here. So, ladies and gentlemen, right here is Nintendo New York. We're inside the building. Now I'm trying to get outside the building. I want to be outside the building. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, whoa. Okay, we're Times Square, everybody, right there. But we're looking for the Nintendo store. The actual hell. I just want to go to the Nintendo store. Okay, so you see NBC right there. Ladies and gentlemen, you see NBC right there. FAO Schwartz. Oh, see how it jumped so quickly there. As you can see, right there is the Today Show, but then right across the street from there, which I think is right here. I believe it's right here. So across the street is the Nintendo store, which expand. So right here is West 48th Street. And then right there is Nintendo New York, right? Actually, let me do this. Hang on. So let's do Nintendo New York. Let's do directions. Today Show. Studio 1A. Literally 1 minute. Literally 1 minute. Okay, so I'm going to click right there. Studio 1A. Okay. We're right here. Can I expand this on just a hair? Nope. What? See how technology wants to be a pain in the ass sometimes. No. Do as I say. Oh my Lord Jesus, y'all. See, this is why technology is so much fun, guys. You see? Okay, I don't want to see y'all. Okay, just no disrespect. I'm sure you're lovely people. I'm trying to make a point here. Okay, so we're right here. I think we're almost there, y'all. I'm trying my best here. Please forgive me. I'm trying my best. Making our way downtown. Technology will work right. Okay, so right here is 30 Rock right there. That's Studio 1A. If I keep going down the street, stop. Quit playing with me. You see right there, ladies and gentlemen, right there is the Nintendo store. So do you see why I get pissed now with media? Because my thing is, when they answered that, I'm like, Studio 1A is right there. And the Nintendo store in New York is right there. Okay, so let's go on the inside now. Now that you saw the distance right there, right? So they have had a brand activation right there on the plaza with the Super Nintendo, with the Super Mario Brothers van. Remember when when the Super Mario Bros. Movie came out, they had the actual van, right? Now, this used to be called Nintendo World. So just give you that. Now, they got the Wii U stations in here. They have, these were the Amiibos there. So as you can see, the connection between NBC and Nintendo are there. So I'm just like, I don't know why they're so behind the 8 ball. But with that being said, let's go to Fear Factor Live. Now, this was a stunt show attraction located in the World Expo section at Universal Studios Florida and in the upper section of Universal Studios Hollywood. Both attractions opened in spring of 2005. Of 2005. There. So I wanted to bring this up because I want to show you this. Okay, so this was right here, Fear Factor Live. Okay. Now, this is the stadium right here. This was the arena. And right here, let's see. Now, we zoom in, as you can see. You got steps there. You got LED screen. You got lights and everything, right? So it's a pretty big space. Pretty big space. Now, I want you to keep this in mind, right? I want you to keep this in mind because and then this was the final stage here. So there you go. So I want you to keep all of this in mind. I want you to keep all of this in mind. Look at how big this audience is, right? Look at how big the audience is. I want you to keep this in mind. Because there was an article that came out here from the Wrap. Warner Bros. Discovery unlocks merger acquisition, but buyers won't emerge quickly. Analysis from the Wrap. And announcing its long anticipated split into separate movie studio and cable companies. By the way, this comes to us from Yahoo Finance. Warner Bros. Discovery sent a loud and clear message to Wall Street and Hollywood. They're open to deal making. Wall Street has already begun dreaming up all kinds of scenarios ahead of the official separation until mid-2026 from private equity and Versant, and making a run at cable channels like TNT Sports and CNN. to Comcast, Apple, and Amazon taking a look at acquiring Warner Brothers Studios and HBO. Even though talk is spinning these off into standalone publicly traded companies, you've essentially put a for sale sign up. S&P Global analyst Naveen Samar said, but analysts and Wall Street experts who spoke to the wrap expressed skepticism about the likelihood of short-term merger acquisition following the split, given the current regulatory climate under the 47 administration that has seen increased scrutiny on big tech and legacy media. For almost everybody you could think of, there's some reason that a sale is going to be complicated, said Howard Homoff, a strategic advisor to media tech companies and managing editor of Homoff Media Group. I don't think there's easy immediate sales, even if that's what they want to do. But Homoff also said that he doesn't see CEO Dave Zaslav simply stepping away and giving the CEOs of streaming business to the highest bidder. Others agree. A longtime cable executive who asked to remain anonymous said that sale of Warner Bros. Studios and the streaming business will only be likely if there's a wall that he hits on growth that just makes it impossible for him to be able to show shareholders that he has a way of driving value. Samir, who is opposed to the idea of spinning off the linear networks, does see the company cable assets lasting long-term as a standalone company. He believes its best chances with private equity. He warned that a roll-up with Comcast versus a move Wall Street has repeatedly floated doesn't solve the industry's underlying secular decline. It makes them bigger companies when you get some synergies by cutting overhead, duplicating jobs, ad sales, and then after 2 years, you've worn through your synergies, your revenue is still down, your EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization, is also coming down. You have to go do another deal. He said you saw this with the telecom companies back around 2000 to 2005. There was a ton of consolidation, but none of them got any better. They just got bigger in the same client ecosystem. During a call with investors last week, Chief Financial Officer Gunnar Wendenfeld said both the global linear networks and streaming studio businesses will be free and clear from a transaction perspective by the time the split is official in mid-2026. We do believe that the transaction provides each business with greater agility to capitalize on potential options and opportunities that may arise. Wendenfeld, who will lead the global networks business as CEO post-separation, said, I also want to stress there is no such plan. I love the asset perimeter of both companies. Warner Bros. Discovery has seen its shares fall around 50% since the 2022 merger and is the latest media company to split up its assets and attempt to boost value for shareholders, following Comcast, Versa, and Lionsgate with Stars. A spokesperson for Warner Bros. Discovery declined to comment for the story. Studios and streaming, an attractive acquisition target. Following the split, the studios and streaming businesses will include Warner Bros. Television Group, Warner Bros. Motion Picture Group, DC Studios, HBO Max, Warner Bros. Games, Tours, Retail, and Experiences, as well as studio production facilities in Burbank and Livingston. I think that's in the UK, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Executives have said that streaming and studios will focus on continuing to scale HBO Max, which is available in 77 markets and launches in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Germany, and Italy planned in 2026, and return the studios business to consistent profitability. The streaming business is expected to generate at least $1.3 billion in profit by the end of 2025 and reach at least 150 million streaming subscribers by the end of 2026, which it also plans to achieve through strategic distribution partnerships and driving higher penetration of its ad-support tier. Meanwhile, the studio's business is targeting at least $3 billion in annual profit, though a specific timeline for achieving that is unclear. A long-term cable executive who wished to remain anonymous said that 3 years is a lifetime in the current climate. There are so many possibilities 3 years out as to how artificial intelligence players that are involved with some of these video models view next generation video distribution and how it works, or maybe doesn't work at all. He observed that you may find companies emerging that have interesting possible combinations of that sort. He added that a new kind of acquirer may emerge in that time is more likely to be the kind of player that develops 3 years from now after Zaslav has seen whether or not he has a hand to play or not, he said. And if he doesn't by then, it becomes a question of who's out there and who's out there that it matters most for. Barclays analyst Kaneem Fishkar estimates that the studio's streaming business could be valued at $30 billion to $40 billion, higher than the entire company's current market cap of $26 billion. He sees Warner Brothers and HBO receiving interest from the likes of tech giants such as Apple, Netflix, and Amazon, but believes the best fit would be Comcast, pointing out any volatility in its studio business would be offset by the latter theme park business, Universal Studios and Peacock. Now, I want to bring something up. During the during Universal's Epic Universe grand opening, there were some representatives from Warner Bros. Discovery. Do you know why they were there? Because Warner Bros. Discovery owns the rights to Harry Potter, the Wizarding World Harry Potter Ministry of Magic Ministry of Magic at Universal's Epic Universe, right? So it's all mashing together. Homoff added that Skydance could have enough financial firepower for a deal in the event its $8 billion deal to acquire Paramount collapses, or if it's looking to continue to expand. Hang on 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that. Oh, I'll take it sometimes. Give me a moment. Okay, give me a moment, yeah. I do want to bring that. Just you wait. Just you wait. There we go. We'll get right back to that article here in just a second. Because I'm just like, what the actual hell happened here? I was reading it and then it just boop. Just give me a moment. There we go. Okay, that's what I'm looking for right here. Okay. So where were we here? We were here, I think. Yeah, we're right here. Yep. Okay, right here. Homonoff added that the Skydance deal could have enough financial firepower for a deal in the event that its $8 billion deal to acquire Paramount collapses, or if it's looking to continue to expand its business in the years ahead after the acquisition which it closes. But like Shed Partners analyst Rich Greenfield was more skeptical about the prospects of a buyer emerging for studios and streaming in a recent blog post. In addition to citing incredibly low probability that a big tech player could gain regulatory approval, he pointed out that Apple has already proven it can create HBO quality program without buying a major studio. That Amazon has been shifting its spin primarily towards sports after already acquiring MGM. Netflix is certainly not a buyer, especially as they would not want to put a regulatory target on their backs, nor is Google/YouTube or Microsoft. As for Legacy Media, Greenfield said that regulatory approval will be challenging for Disney, which has already been consolidated, which has already consolidated Fox Studio assets and has been targeted by 47 FCC Chairman Brett Carr and Comcast, whose CEO Brian Roberts has faced repeated attacks from 47 Truth Social. He added that Skydance will likely need a couple of years to transform Paramount's asset mix and tech stack before pursuing bigger acquisitions, assuming the deal closes. Additionally, he said Sony could be a wild card if it pursued a deal with the help of a private equity firm such as Apollo, which previously partnered with it on a $26 billion joint offer for Paramount. Given the unpredictability of the regulatory environment, Mr. Carr believes the most likely outcome in the near term would be a strategic capital infusion from private equity firms as a bridge to a potential strategic exit sometime in the future. The streaming and studios business could also look to strike minority investment deals, joint ventures, or content licensing partnerships to give it more financial flexibility, Homonoff said. While we sense Warner Bros. Discovery CEO and soon to be streamer and studio CEO Dave Zasloff is frustrated with stocks underperformance. He has become a media mogul who's not ready to concede and sell. Greenfield ad in turn, studios and streamers is likely to trade more on earnings and growth potential than take over speculation. Global linear TV networks ripe for consolidation. Global networks will include CNN, TNT Sports, also the Point Free Network in the United States, Discovery top free to air channels across Europe, Discovery Plus, and Bleacher Report. It will retain a 20% stake in the studios and streaming business to help reduce its debt. Executives said they will look to invest in international growth opportunities and elevate its live sports. Keep that in mind. And news offering growth these digital side with brands such as Discovery Plus and CNN's upcoming streaming offering. I know what you're thinking. What? CNN Plus failed, and they're having a new streaming offering coming soon. As for CNN, the longtime cable executive said, I can see Skydance's Dave Ellison coming in thinking you need something to enhance CBS News. I can see Saudi money or other money that involves a foreign buyer coming in and having a news service that extends around the world being a unique asset they will have to control. And yes, there are private equity players who I'm sure will consider various ways to do it. All the are probably scary aspects for people within CNN. While Homanoff acknowledged that TNT Sports could be of interest to Versant, signing CEO Mark Lazarus' recent emphasis on sports, he believes the combination between the two companies would be unlikely, knowing many of their networks overlap, such as CNN and MSNBC. You would doubt that from a regulatory perspective, they would want CNN to combine with MSNBC or even MSNBC and CNBC, he said. Greenfield was more blunt, pointing out that cable network mergers have been complete and utter failures over the last decade. Jamming more dying cable networks together is not a value creation strategy, he said. Whether or not global networks can find a merger party, we do not see that as a reason to get excited about a Warner Bros. Discovery split. If it does not find strategic buyer, Homanoff said that the asset is ripe for rationalization and could share some underperforming networks to reallocate its investments and cut costs. Warner Bros. Discovery already plans to shutter 4 multiplex linear channels: HBO, Family, Thrill, Max, Movie Max, and Outer Max in August, per a notice to customers from Cord Cutters News. Bank of America analyst Jessica Riff-Erich, also for its smaller asset sales to CNN, were polling CBN, but acknowledged it would be a multi-step process that has the potential to devalue the remaining assets that are left unsold. Alternatively, the global networks could go private equity route. She said private equity firms understand how to manage that business with relatively low leverage. You put a relatively low amount of leverage on it and you manage it for cash flow and dividends. S&P's Sharma added, these guys are all pursuing spinoffs, but maybe they will change their mind down the road. So I wanted to bring that up for a particular reason. There was something called E-League. That's right. E-League is an esports league and American television program that airs on TBS. You know who owns TBS? Warner Brothers Discovery, ladies and gentlemen. It was announced in September 2015 as a partnership between Turner Broadcasting and talent agency William Morris Endeavor and IMG. The name E-League was officially unveiled later that year. Launched with Counter-Strike Global Offensive in May 2016, the league featured 24 teams across the world to compete in a 2-week 10-league league seasons annually, which include a regular season, playoffs, and a championship. E-League currently has no plans to lock teams into exclusivity, unlike Championship Gaming Series' previous attempt to bring professional video games to television in the United States. Matches are live on TBS every Monday night. So do you see why now I asked that question to NBC Universal about Nintendo doing primetime e-gaming tournaments on NBC and streaming live on Peacock and also on Telemundo as well. So let me see if I can get E-League TBS. Switch that there. I can spell. So I want you guys to see this here. A couple of videos. Give me a moment. Okay, so check this out right here.
Very cool. Well, tell me a little bit about the studio.
Let me go back.
Jason,
this is their Techwood campus. So you see Turner Classic Movies, Cartoon Network, Peachtree TV, True TV, Boomerang, and Adult Swim.
VG here with Steve Fiorello of Turner Sports. We are in week 2 of E-League here in Atlanta, Georgia. Very
lots of anticipation. We had some exciting moments.
Let's start off. How did the first week 2 of E-League here in Atlanta, Georgia. Steve, let's start off. How did the first week of E-League go here at Techwood Turner Studios?
It went well. Lots of anticipation. We had some exciting moments. We had Cloud9, which is a team that was unheralded, kind of put a scare into Luminosity, who is one of the top teams in the league. And from a production standpoint, we had a blast. Tried a lot of new things. It's a different space for me specifically. But yeah, we had fun. It was a huge success for us.
Very cool. Well, tell me a little bit about the studio. Anybody that watched on Twitch or on cable on the Friday night primetime telecast saw what seemed like an arena, really. Tell me a little bit about what you guys were trying to accomplish with the high-tech studio you built for E-League.
So first and foremost, the goal was to make sure that the players had a venue that they can compete in and feel confident that there wasn't one team getting a distinct advantage versus another. There's lots of little nuances within
That's the studio. Okay.
that you have to kind of protect and prevent other teams from getting advantage. So that was first and foremost. The second thing was, what would that experience be like for a fan who came into the venue and sat in and experience this thing? And that was making sure that the space itself lent itself for that, whether it's getting opportunities to kind of get close to the players, getting opportunities to get close to our talent, and just being in a compressed venue, unlike what you typically see in this space where they're selling out 10,000 seat arenas. And then lastly is making sure that the set was functional for other types of productions that we plan on doing, studio shows that don't require any type of gaming productions, or just basically just coming in and doing a studio show without a huge studio audience. That was part of the reason why we created the set the way that it is, with modular pieces such as the main desk set.
Cool. And the control room, obviously, producing live gaming is very different than producing a live stick and ball sport. But much of it is the same at the same time. So tell me a little bit about where it differs in terms of, I know, the observers, and it's very much a different workflow because you're cutting virtual cameras within the game a lot of the time rather than, cameras that are around a stadium.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in the game. But outside of that, everything's fine. No, there's almost like 2 productions going on at the same time. There's what we consider our traditional linear style type of producing and directing of the pregame shows, the halftime shows, and the postgame show. And then there's the whole in-game experience, which is a total another production that's actually cutting the POV cameras of those players, which is the game action that you see. Melding the 2 together was interesting, but I felt confident that with our production knowledge of pregame shows, halftime shows, similar to what we do with Inside the NBA, that part we would kill and be successful in. The other part of the production, we leaned on our counterparts who are embedded in the space to kind of help create and direct and produce the gaming portion of it. So melding the 2 together really was the challenge, but everybody kind of put their egos aside and understood that the focus was creating as good of a production with the E-League and esports type of people, and then the linear Turner Sports type of people. So that's kind of where we're at.
Very cool, Steve. Well, you guys are off and running. Week 2 is a couple days in. You got a primetime show coming up on Friday. Stay tuned to sportsvideo.org for continuing coverage of E-League, Turner Sports efforts, and make sure to turn into Twitch all week for live E-League as well as the primetime show on Friday.
Thank you for that.
What's up, everybody? It's Taylor Soper from GeekWire. We are here in hot Atlanta. I'm sweating, it's muggy, but I'm really excited for this. We're outside of Turner Broadcasting. We're going to get a behind-the-scenes tour of studios where they film inside the NBA, MLB postseason, NBA TV, but perhaps most interestingly, we're going to get a look at E-League. It's a new esports production that Turner's investing in. They've got a huge set where esports athletes, if you will, they go compete, they games like Counter-Strike and Overwatch. So we're going to get an inside scoop on what this all looks like and how esports is really, really here and here to stay. So let's go inside. This is not a sports television studio, but it's actually an esports studio for E-League. It's a new esports league started by Turner, and this is a massive set. This desk actually moves around. There's a bunch of LED lights, and the players or athletes, if you will play up there. And the Overwatch Open is actually going to go on tomorrow. They're rehearsing for the set now. So players play up there. And where I'm sitting right here is actually where the commentators sit. Yes, they have commentators for esports. And then behind you here is where actually fans will sit and cheer during the game. So very cool. It's very much a sign of the growth of esports. Very much reminds us of an inside the NBA or a sports show TV set, but really for esports. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I want to pause that there because of this guy right here. Let me just bring up the man himself real quick here, if you don't mind. Big Diesel, baby. Let's go.
2015 was the biggest year ever for esports, with over 100 million fans worldwide and growing. And now my good friends at Turner Sports and WME IMG are announcing a new esports league coming to TBS. And you're getting the exclusive first look. I've been part of the Turner family now for 5 years, and trust me, when I tell you, this is going to be big. Roll the clip.
Everybody got a target tonight. Everybody tripping under their mind. Everybody going out of their skin. See, we get to the end, but as we begin, you feel it.
We're all very excited about Turner. It's just blown up. TV is obviously the next step. It helps bring what we've been doing for so long to the mainstream.
5 minutes for the 15 of fame. 5 seconds for you saying my name. I'm deadly sharp, shooting the game. Gonna hit you in the soul. Execution is aim.
The Turner pot is $1.2 million. Oh, man. Esports is only going to get bigger from here.
See how the game and the people behind the game actually work.
I can really feel it rivaling traditional sports.
Everybody jumping out of their mind.
I know. Yeah. I know. How cool is that? So with that being said, right here from USA Day, this is the actual arena here. So this is where the desk is. This is where the team sit there, then the live audience there, right? So just want to show you this. So I thought this was so cool. As you can see, the market is valued at $747 million, along with a massive arena. Teams will play each week in front of a live audience, so it lends itself to a real energy that's going to translate to the broadcast. It feels better for players as well. Have people cheer on for them while they're playing is going to make a big difference as well. We really stripped it down to what's most important, which is a competition featuring it the right way. So, with that being said, this, is Blizzard Arena. Now you're thinking Blizzard, wait a minute, right? Blizzard Arena? Yes, from Microsoft. I know. Right here, as you can see there. So there is the main stage there for Overwatch. So you see the two banks of teams there. This was the Overwatch Cup. And then, that's just 5,000 seats. Now, unfortunately, this shut down, right? Unfortunately, I know Blizzard was ahead of its time. So this was the main entryway, has a merchandise store, the control room there. Yeah, I know. Now this was at now this has 450 seats. My bad. I do believe they had like 5,000 seats at one point in time. So as you can see, as we keep scrolling on here. So as you can see, this was the very first permanent live esports arena. They also got a concession stand as well. And images of current champions align the walls. Then there you go there. So I want to show you this. Because remember what I showed you, right? So, okay, that's what it is. 50,000 square foot space boasts 3 studios, 2 control rooms, 3 press rooms, 2 game lounges, and several amenities. But the crown jewel of the arena is a live orange stage that holds 450 seats, right? So remember when I showed you that Fear Factor live stage, right? Yeah, imagine Nintendo building the Nintendo Arena inside Universal Orlando Resort. Okay, just saying. Now here it is here. Now this is an 11,000 square feet studio, right? Now this was the home of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, right? This is at Burbank Studios. However, the arena itself is one portion of Blizzard's sprawling 74,000 5-level facility, which including the basement, which also includes a second studio for additional programming, 2 control rooms, an observer room, a shoutcaster announce booth. So, like, how Chris Hemsworth would slide in there, like, for Football Night in America. 9 edit suite private practice rooms for all 12 Overwatch teams, dugouts for competing teams, multiple press rooms, vast stretches of office space, including Jay Little's former digs, and much more. Now, unfortunately, this is closed down, but as you see here, with teams dishing out $20 million a piece to join and Twitch inking a 2-year, $90 million streaming rights deal, Blizzard doesn't just believe Overwatch League can be among the elite esports properties in the world. It believes it can be among the elite sports properties of any kind. Okay, so this was in Burbank, California here. A little bit more of Blizzard arena there. So let's bring up some pictures. The 450 seat arena there. You got the Overwatch, the booth right here. On set desk. This was the merch store here. Green room area. So you have all that there. I think that's all of that. Yep, that's all that. And then this is from Pinnacle Experimental. And then, of course, Sweetwater Film and Entertainment here. So this is Blizzard Arena right here, as you can see. Right here, LED display and line transit the studio spaces envelop the arena entrance and retail space for a fully immersive experience there. So NEP Sweetwater created a full integrated solution for Blizzard Arena's brand new studio facility. Those events include Overwatch League, Heroes of Storm at Hearthstone. NEP Sweetwater designed a fully 180p and 3G broadcast infrastructure for all 3 studio spaces and control rooms here. Okay, so this is a little bit more right there. So as you can see, the desk right there, the action behind them, fans here, as you can see. This was ahead of its time. And then right here, as you can see, look at this right here on Instagram, as you can see there. Behind the scenes, on stage. Man, how cool is this, right? So when I tell you that this idea, right, of Nintendo acquiring TikTok, right, and being able to do a Nintendo Arena, as you can see, the Hall of Champions at Blizzard Arena in Burbank, California here, right? This is why I'm thinking, if Nintendo acquired TikTok, right? Now, you remember the Wii channels that we talked about with Amazon Instant Video, Netflix. Let me go back to it, child. Let me go back to it because I don't want to misquote. So you remember Netflix, YouTube, Hulu Plus, Amazon Instant Video. Imagine, if you will, if you could stream live on TikTok, right? Owned by Nintendo, and you have that TikTok tab on your Nintendo Switch 2, right? I think, how many Nintendo Switch 2s were sold? Nintendo Switch 2 sold. So how many Nintendos? So 3.5 million units worldwide. Okay, so that's going to eventually increase. So imagine you tuning in to a Nintendo e-gaming tournament on TikTok on your Nintendo Switch 2, right? And not to mention too, because it's short form content, think about the licensing for that content, okay? Now, if you have a partnership with NBC to do Nintendo e-gaming tournaments, now that Nintendo hypothetically owns TikTok, guess what? NBC can play those TikTok clips during the e-gaming tournament. So you see where I'm going here with this, y'all? Like I did not really know if this would work out, but I sincerely believe that Nintendo would do so well with that. Not to mention too, imagine a TikTok studio space at the Nintendo store in New York, right? Imagine a TikTok TikTok studio space at Nintendo San Francisco store. Imagine it at every Super Nintendo World, right? In Japan, in Orlando, in Hollywood. And then imagine if Nintendo made e-gaming lounges across the country that also had the TikTok studio built into all of the consoles. You see what I mean? Well, not just the, I meant the gaming stations rather. So that's why I was just so excited. Like this makes so much sense. So as you can see here, Nintendo, $102 billion, ladies and gentlemen. $102 billion. Now, where in the world is TikTok? Right here, ByteDance, 400 billion, right? So, you know, Nintendo would need some partners, right, to buy it. But I do believe that if Nintendo bought TikTok, right, you see here 1.5 billion monthly active users. Nintendo will have access to 1.5 billion people around the world. And think about this, future Nintendo movies, the trailers can debut on TikTok, right? And not to mention too, imagine, if you will, and I said this about Disney when it came to Disney buying TikTok. Imagine TikTok Studios, right? Let's just say Nintendo reaches out to me because they like Braylon's Virtual Tour, and they're like, hey, you're doing really good with Braylon's Virtual Tour on YouTube. If you multi-stream to TikTok, we will put you on Nintendo Switches all across the world. You see where I'm going here, y'all? So that is the pitch. Like I said, I hope it made sense. I think I went over every single thing, child. I had to make sure that I had everything. And then, of course, here from Polestar, Arlington, Texas announced a stadium plan for an esports stadium, right? So Populous says the 100,000 square foot space will be the largest and most flexible esports stadium in the country. Will open later this year in Arlington's district. The stadium plans featuring a competition event space, gaming, retail, and social spaces, VIP hospitality, a broadcasting studio, and training areas, right? So, of course, this was the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. Also, too, there's the Hyper X Arena in Las Vegas. Hyper X Arena. No. Technology can be so much fun, right? And by the way, y'all, I saw the Fat Joe thing. Child, we will get into that. I had to get this idea out of my head. Y'all know how I am when it comes to creating content, right? So here it is. Here, this is the Hyper X Arena, right? So yeah, they e-gaming is huge. Like, it is in the billions of dollars. So they could do live tournaments from right here in Vegas. They also have, now this is in Sandusky, Ohio. I want y'all to see this. This is the Cedar Point. This is the Cedar Point Sports Center right here. So this is it right here. So Cedar Point, the roller coaster capital of the world, has their own esports center, right? And so here is the esports arena inside there, right? So you have, right here. So you have the stations there and the live audience. And of course, if we, hang on, let's click on this so we can see a little bit more. So right here, as you can see, the bank of stations there. Let's play it. Yeah, I Yeah, that is in Sandusky, Ohio, okay? And then finally, y'all, I could not, without a shadow of a doubt, end this show without showcasing you this. Now, this is beyond stunning. Now, this is the Fortress from Full Sail University. This is their esports arena, okay? This is their esports arena right here. So I want you guys to watch this here. This is just, y'all, when I tell y'all, this is what they do. This is what they do. I want you to pause. I want to pause it right there. So you see the banks of consoles. You see the desk.
Oh, let's break it. What a save! Pentakill. Let's settle this! Let's go! Yeah!
Yeah, that was smack. Yeah, so basically, I think you get my point. Esports is not going anywhere. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful time with me tonight. Let me get you guys the Daily Motivator, and then we'll head on out of here. So, yes, indeed. Here we go, y'all, the Daily Motivator. I never did a day's work in my life. It was all fun. Thomas Alva Edison. Very nicely done, good sir. It's time for Daily Motivator for Thursday, June 19, 2025, or Juneteenth. Steady and confident. It's a serious problem that demands your time and attention, but it's not the end of the world. One of the worst things you can do is panic over it. Develop a well-considered plan and put that plan into action. Then ease away from your anxiety and sense of doom. You're taking effective steps to make things better. Don't make things worse by losing your nerve. Give your efforts a chance to work. Monitor your progress and make the necessary adjustments. Solving the problem calls for a steady, confident frame of mind and timely, prudent action that comes from staying calm and purposeful. Refuse to be intimidated or needlessly distracted, and choose to be effective. Yes, it is a big problem, and you're giving your best, and soon will be far behind your performance. So, first thing about steady and confident, you have to know how to take a swing and just be comfortable of it may not work. Also, you're talking to a friend of mine today, my coworker, friend Bishop, and he was like, I see your point, but I don't think they need it. You never know what someone may or may not need until you present. That's the first thing. The second thing I'll say about steady and confident is always be open to learn. If you're open to learn, what could be useful to you, you will never be surprised by what can come at you. That's the second thing. And finally, the third thing is, with everything that I showed y'all tonight, right? With everything that I showed y'all tonight, even with this, let me show y'all this here. This is from Digital Trends here, right? Even Digital Trends did this here, right? So even with this, always remember that the biggest sounds are usually never turned up all the way. You have to find the sound. So the third thing I will tell you about being steady and confident is that the sounds that are the most poppable, it takes a steady and confident person to be able to hear all the sound, not just what they want to listen to, right? So with that being said, everybody, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. This one was a good one. I hope you enjoyed it. Know what you're doing, do what you know. Never say you want more special, because you were always born of blessed and trust. You may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Why is one thing to call yourself is nothing to be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You have spent time with me. And hopefully, by spending time together, we're to be great together. And always remember, we're doing radio, television, YouTube, live your best life, or you're just saying maybe a really big move that hasn't been made yet. Rather, make sure the replay is not just for if you watch it, not just for you listen to it, but if you want to experience it again. I love you, I value, I appreciate you all. Always remember, receive love, you gotta give it, receive love, you gotta give it, receive love, you gotta give it. Wherever obstacles you have overcome, wherever success you have achieved upon this particular day, I'm extremely proud of you, but no one's probably be proud of you down. So, finally, y'all, listen, I truly believe that in this space of media and technology and culture, I am more excited now than the 90s. And yes, I know the 90s was Nickelodeon Studios and at the Universal Orlando Resort. But now with more diversification and accessibility to create content, anybody can get in. And so the more people that can get in, the more we are able to find new places to fall. And that's always a win. Always remember, see what we got to get wherever obstacles you overcome, whatever such you achieve. I'm sure. That's right. Be proud to do. Yes, I did all that. Okay. One love, much love, all love. I feel the love and I send it right back to you, everybody. Good night, everybody. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. I hope that this was a good one for you all. One love, much love, all love. By the way, the trial will be back on tomorrow, so get ready for that at 6 o'clock, of course, 11 a.m. All new show, and then I think at 8:30 we'll have to talk about Fat Joe. All right, love you all. Bye-bye.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you, and you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now, they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.